All right. There we are. Yeah, it took a little bit longer than I wanted. Let me just see. Hello there, hello air. Okay. Need to make sure Spotify stays in the current playlist, otherwise YouTube gives me a copyright strike once again. Bad Spotify. I love Pringles. Okay, did I check everything? Is everything working? I don't know. Apparently so. Okay. I think I will work a little bit on the Better Annihilator Cam mod for a little bit. And then we get to the chill part. Really abstract Pringles, by the way. Though this one looks quite, looks like it has a lot of flavor on it. This looks like a bubble, not so tasty. Okay, GTA 4. Script. Dusty. Okay. Let's open. This is the wrong tool. This. So okay, we have what kind of to-do things are in here. Okay, the test for the network thing. Yeah, that will happen sometime later. And the back camera view. Okay. The back camera. Shouldn't be too difficult actually. Remember, in the last stream, we made the mod dynamic instead of static. So the user can now create their own cameras. So we have to change the code. To make it all nice and dynamic. But first I think we should test the mod again. Oh right. And Sharp UI doesn't have a text input item. Which is also holding us back a little bit. That's correct. Okay, that's... Oh my god, GTA 4 might be loud. Let's quickly... Oh, nice windows. Let's quickly turn it down. We know how loud it is in a loading screen. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. It saved the volume for my headphones. Good job, Windows. Let's go here. So, Annihilator. Let's open the menu. So we have auto enable and we have a... Oh right, I wanted to change the list too. To a simpler list. Like... not having a drop-down menu. Good. Okay, this works. The camera selection. Nice, nice, nice. And when we want to edit a camera, it's also live preview, right? Yes. That also works. Okay. Okay, right now we cannot go in the negative, only in the positive number. We can only enter a positive number. There's also an issue with Sharp UI or with I'm GUI actually. This also works. This is pretty cool. Now that the enable and disable. Oh. Okay. I think I know why. This is also kind of weird. For real, for real. Okay. I'm kind of tired today. I already got a monster next to me. I hope it helps. So do you like Monster? Do you drink energy drinks? Monster is the best. Monster Energy, sponsor me. So update cameras list. Manage custom cameras menu. Okay, this is the wrong menu. This is the right theme. Custom camera on click. But this is only in this menu. Yeah, I think it's different for what do I want to say? For every person it's different. For me it does work, but not for long. Okay, cam selection combo box. I think I'm adding back the Oh my god. 2 or 3 those 5-hour energy drinks. What are 5-hour energy drinks? This is some energy drink we have over there. Oh, what is this? Okay, cam enable, deactivates the cam. I think this is better. Ah, okay, yeah, I know them. Okay, yeah. I don't think I will drink them. This sounds not so healthy. I mean, not that Monster is healthy, but this sounds especially unhealthy. Try get cast a custom name by... Oh shit. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, activate cam. If the cam's already active, then we return. This is good. Wait, call from UI menu. These are all... There's one true. Okay, and there's also true. So if it's not the correct vehicle, we can show a message again to the player. Not in an annihilator. I think it's spelled like that. Or buzzard. Didn't I add this message? Oh yeah. Okay, no. I had it before, but I removed it and re-added it now. Oh wait. Also, check if this is actually called from within the UI. From an UI. From the UI. Okay, this is actually true. I will do that. Much better. I like this much more. I do. Okay, wait, if none is selected, then we just return, I guess. This is the default item if there isn't a custom camera available yet or created yet by the player. I think if the cam Okay, I think we can actually do it like so. Like we have activate cam and we have deactivate cam. Let's do it like this. Much better. I don't think we need a unique name for this. Selected name, this is the combo box item. Yes, yes, I have. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, what happens when we call activate cam again? Activate cam. Okay, get the currently selected custom camera from the combo box. If it's none, then I guess we don't activate the camera. But we should also uncheck the checkbox. Or maybe... Alright, let's just do it like that for now. Okay, this is the add new camera. I gotta test this real quick. Let's see, so we have the enable checkbox back, that's good. The selection. So let's not enable it, but go in an annihilator. It's not enabled, that's how it should be. So let's enable it, but not choose a selected camera. Nothing happens. Okay, it's enabled, but what happens if we choose a camera now? Okay, it enables, is good. What happens if we choose none? The camera stays active. Yeah, I mean, this is okay. Thanks, Reezus. Hello, Reezus. Nice. Well, there might not be a default camera. Then we have a problem. Well, I guess we can account for that, but let's just get this working for now. Or let's get this finished for now. So we definitely need the back camera to work. Shit. Okay. Oh, okay, this. So. Yeah, now. Okay, it needs custom offsets. This is correct. Oh, it does not disable the camera. Why? Deactivate cam does not work. Why not? This might... That's kind of weird. Let me refresh the YouTube page. Something is wrong. Does it still work? Yes. Nope, because there is no argument. See here in the activate cam there is an argument called call from UI menu, but not in the deactivate cam function. This is only set to true in the activate cam function to show the subtitle message when the user actually manually clicked on this item. When the script calls this function automatically, we set this to false, so it doesn't show a subtitle message. Okay, this is definitely a little bit weird. This needs offsets, custom offsets. Not too difficult, so we can basically go into custom camera class and then add 3 offsets for the back camera. Camera back offset X, Y, Z. So for the hood cam, this is based on the model dimensions. Yeah, this kinda, that sucks. Min vector. So the default is max vector. Maybe I can add a boolean. Use fixed third person camera, so this has a custom offset. Let's add it here. So final additional offset can now be set to the current custom camera dot camera back offset X and then YZ. Okay. Well, this would override the forgot to add this, of course. Only override those offsets if the button was pressed to show the back camera, of course. So, and the hood camera uses the min vector of the current model dimensions. Don't forget that. Where's back cam? Hood. Was it hood? I forgot. Hood cam, okay. True. Let's also add those. Might need to rename this field. Doesn't really explain what this is for right now. Doesn't really explain it right now. Could be confusing. So if we want to use the min vector, still might give us some trouble. This would definitely give us some trouble. Custom camera menu, okay. Oh, you mean this? So basically I hold down Alt, the Alt key, and then I can have like a multiple cursor right here. And then I can just paste it on multiple lines. Pretty cool feature. Very handy. Hey, what's up, not AJ? We will do a little bit of coding and then we will jump over to the reaction part of the stream. The more relaxed part, one could say. Cam, use. I don't know. Text. Uses the nice. Uses the min vector of the models size, I guess. Well, that description is subject to change anyway. Rules checked. So it does this and then it does apply camera values. Reverse cam is, I think, wrong for the back camera. Might be fine. Okay, wait, apply camera values. Don't actually need to call that, I think. Hello, Blob. welcome. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Okay, let's set those values. Where was it? Okay, it was here. Can basically just copy everything. And the first was a UI checkbox item. Of course, I need to know the name. Cam back, okay. Nice. Okay, let's actually try this out. This might only work for the hood camera right now. But I don't think it will work for this, so will it? Nah, I don't think so. It will overwrite the offset, but let's see. Did I save the file? Probably. I do want a little bit of sound. Okay, it auto enables the camera when I select hood. I did actually not... I do not want that to happen, actually. That's what the enable checkbox item is for. But yeah, I guess we'll take it. That's why enabling this way it doesn't work. Because this keeps it enabled. Whatever. So let's try it out. This is not good. Okay, it is actually correct, but I don't think the distance is correct. Okay, what happens with another camera like this? Oh, it's okay. It resets the offset, and it might do the same with the hood camera. Let's see. Let's check the hood camera, manage custom cameras, hood. It's not checked. Why not? Let's check it now and test. Well, okay, I guess it did something. But it's quite offset. Well, I can also give you the whole project if you want. You can continue it for me. That would also be nice. Much appreciated. Min vector. Well, the code is right here on the screen, so grab your pencil and start writing. Are you done yet? Oh, wait, the final additional offset is completely wrong. Then I need to set the final offset? Because this is set to the max vector. What was the final additional? Oh. I think I just used the wrong field. The wrong variable. But it doesn't explain why the... Oh, now it checked. I kind of don't understand. Okay, the file changed. Let's see. Okay. As expected. It updated all the things. Okay, the hood camera is actually active. Even though it's set to none. Oh my god. Okay. Ah, there we go. This is what is supposed to happen, I think. Pretty sure. Okay, this is for the hood camera. Yeah, okay, this is supposed to happen. Right, this works. Let's select the fix third person. This should put the camera in front of the annihilator and look back. Okay, nah. Not correct. Not correct. Setting the wrong offset again. Let's see. Oh, it's... No. It has overridden the values. Oh no, I don't remember the values. Let's... Eine additional offset. Oops, this was the wrong camera. Fix third person we want. Oh yeah, true. Good idea, not AJ. I totally forgot about that. True. But I think it's fine. I think it's fine. We can just try out new values. Oh no! Oh my god. Okay, this is awesome. Oh, it actually saved. I did not expect that. Oh. Okay, I should have expected that. Let's see what X is again. Let's put this really high. Does X even change anything? Zero. Yeah, let me actually check the watch. 1 second. I do want to also check some of the old code I had. Because I think what I'm doing right now is kinda wrong. For Forgive me, please. I'm kinda tired today. Okay, so I got the live stream right here on my second monitor. Okay, this is all just UI stuff. Okay. Wait, I'm just gonna... So, you guys can see now too. Oh. Okay, this is still the create UI. Function. Okay, it is me testing it in game. Okay, explore crash right here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so for the hood cam, we set the final offset. But for the third person cam, we set the final additional offset. And it's set to 0, -5, rev 3.5. Okay. Thank you, AJ. This is a good idea. This was a good idea. -5, not 50. This would be not so cool. But wait, one thing that was kind of weird. It has overwritten these values to 0. Why did that happen? What happens when I reload the mod? Or it might overwrite them again because they are not currently set. Let's reload. And they are probably reset. Let's see. Yes, okay. Let's set them again. Oh, they will probably reset again. Let's see. Yeah, I need to set them manually. Or maybe I can just implement a simple console command which reloads the file. Yeah, the problem is when the when I reload the mod, it calls the uninitialize function, which saves all the cameras, but they still have the old value, and then they override it. And yeah, when I set them to the correct values and reload again, they will repeat the process. This is OP. How did I add custom console commands again? I totally forgot. Console and CO file. Oh, register console command. Is this case sensitive? I don't remember anything I did for ibsek.net. Reload cameras. Oh, reload cams. A little bit shorter. Yeah, I mean, case sensitive would be weird. And then we just load them again without saving. Let's also reloading cameras. Okay, wait, before I lose them. Oh, I just lost them again. Oh no, they are right here. Ah, I'm so confused. Nope. So, mod right here. Then we reload, so we have the console command. Let's see if it actually works. Reload cams. Yep, works. But now, yes, it reset them. Now let's do it like this. Save, and then call the command again. So let's see. For the fixed third person, yes, the values are finally there. And now let's reload the mod. It should not overwrite the values to 000. Let's see. Yep. Okay, values stay. Sehr gut. Okay. Okay, this is the default GTA 4 cam. Let's see what happens. Okay, hood actually worked. Fixed third person, this might not work. Because it's setting the wrong value. The wrong field. Yeah, it keeps setting them at the wrong thingy. Okay, I guess. Okay, this is the attach offset. What was the y-axis again? Final additional offset y. What was the y offset again? I keep forgetting, but I also don't think it's consistent. Y, okay, it's apparently back and forth, yeah. Okay. Alrighty, noted. Honestly, do we even need the model dimensions? I mean, we only use it for the y-axis. Let's just comment this out. We probably need to reset all the values, readjust them. But I honestly think we might not even need it. Okay. Yeah, nice. Maybe you can enter a lurk state. Up to you. What you wanna do. Or listen to some good music while programming. This is my preferred way. Okay, fixed third person. Okay, the value is completely wrong, but this was expected. The problem is it does not allow it to go in a negative way. I honestly think we should not use the Y value from the model dimensions. The player should just set their own offset. This also makes it a little bit less confusing. I mean, I honestly like the camera here. Not ideal, but looks cool, I guess. Wait, attaches the cam to the vehicle. Don't I already do that? Okay. I mean, we can also use the cam attach to vehicle function. That CCL provides. Literally no difference, but attach cam to vehicle, attach to vehicle. Literally no difference, but yeah. Just rely less on natives. Oh man, I'm really jealous that GTA 5 has so much documentation for like the scale form. I think this was the UI, right? I would love to work with the native GTA 4 UI, but literally no access other than like decompiling and finding all the functions that are responsible for the native UI. I mean the actual GTA 4 UI they used. Well, it used to be simple because I used static cameras. Dynamic is a little bit more work, but it's worth it because it's dynamic. And you can literally create new cameras without overriding. GTA 4 is basically the beta GTA 5. I think a lot of people would scream at that sentence right now, but I do agree. I mean, with GTA 4 they already had a pretty good base to work with the new engine and such. Okay, what did I want to do again? I wanted to get rid of the model dimensions. Final offset, I think we should set the additional offset then. And then we also don't need this anymore. Oh yeah, one thing I definitely need to fix is the value not being able to go in the negative space, I guess. That's a sharp UI issue, unfortunately. UI direct float item. I gotta check something in iMovie itself. Where is it? I think in widgets. Yes, reload. Is there the drag float item here? Yes, there's the drag float item. Ah, where's the header? Does it even have a header? It might be here in imgui.h. Let's see. Yes, there should be. Yes. Oh, if minimum is larger or equal to maximum, we have no bound. So if they are okay. Then I should probably do the same. Let's see, maximum. What's the default value of maximum? Or what do we currently set the value to? We definitely don't want any bounds. Drag float item. We only set the current value and the speed. Something is setting the... Oh, okay, it's set right here. Yeah, maximum is set to float max value, the constant. And it also doesn't have the float character, but we do actually want it to be 0. Because then iMGUI lets us go in any dimension, I guess. It's maybe not called dimension. Yeah, this is what I should have done all along, but I didn't know. Okay, right here we don't need it anymore. What else? I think it's the same with the UI drag int item. Let's check this out actually. Let's check the overloads for this function. Drag int. Okay, drag int. Let's see, it's probably the same. If min is equal to max. Yeah. Yeah, if minimum is bigger or equal to then max, we have no bound. Okay, so we need to do the same here. Okay, perfect. We need to reset GTA4 for that. Let's build. And let's test it again really quick. There should be one issue fixed. One quite important issue. I need to check something real quick. YouTube. I think this is the issue. And now reload the page again. It might. Okay, that fixed it. Very good. Excuse me? Well, this is how coding goes. That's how coding goes. Oh my. Okay, camera. Let's get back to camera, shall we? I don't even have a camera. I mean the in-game camera. Next. I mean with air, you never know. You never know what he's gonna say next. Okay, offset Y. And can we go into the negative? Yes, this issue is fixed. Okay, this is actually much better without the need of the model dimensions. Much better. Much better. Okay, I think progress is now being made faster. Hopefully. Let's remove all the old stuff we don't need. We also don't need this field anymore. We only now need the camera back offset. Okay, let's remove this. Okay, so we create a new vector here. And we create a new vector here with the camera back offset things. And we create a new vector here. This is totally not needed anymore. You can just pass this in. So much computing power saved right here. What? Nah. Nah, I think you read something that didn't even exist. Must have been some stream compression messing up the text. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Must have been the wind. Well, maybe you took the wrong meds. I mean, I don't know. Okay, some monster intros. Ugh, so sweet. I usually like monster, but right now it was way too sweet. Okay. Camera back offset, one last issue. I know where this issue is. Let's remove it. Let's remove all those fields. So it's also a little bit less confusing, because I also couldn't really find a good name for it. Okay, we don't need these values anymore, because they are also wrong now. Oh my god, all values need to be adjusted. Readjusted. But that's a job for air, right? Air, you're gonna adjust these values, right? I am just here for the raw programming of the mod. Okay. Yeah, Windows is buggy again. I cannot click on my taskbar. So gotta okay, I can kinda click on things, but it doesn't respond so well anymore, so gotta kill it. Oh no, what's the correct one? Ah, okay, it's this. Okay, it just kills the whole explorer. That's fine. I don't know why it keeps happening. Don't know why Windows does it. Okay. Let's just test real quick to see how it looks. So when we put on the hood camera, the hood cam looks still good. The offsets are still correct, that's pretty cool. And okay, yeah, the back camera offset is now screwed. Needs some new offsets. What about the fixed third person camera? Okay, also needs some new values, offsets. What about... Oh, this is nice. This is nice. I like that. Could be a potential camera. Okay, yeah, all these values need to be adjusted. Oh man. Bring back Windows 7. Or actually Windows 8 even. No, Windows 8.1, because this was actually the fastest Windows. Even though it had a crap UI, but I mean, it was fine. It's always the win. Honestly, Windows 8.1 with a custom start menu, like a Windows 7 style start menu, and it's good. What's so bad about Windows 8.1? Now you gotta explain. Let's see. Yeah, that's true. The UI, yes. I agree with both points. But of course, there were third-party tools with which you didn't need this full screen start menu. You could replace it with a default start menu. And then I think the UI was pretty much the same like all the Windows. You still had your classic calculator, you still had your classic desktop. The UI, the Metro apps only launched with the when you launch them in the start menu. Then it launched the Metro full screen apps and they really sucked. Maybe for tablet it's good, but not for a computer. I don't know what's going on with Microsoft at that time, but you know, they always had some weird decisions. Yeah, it was tablet UI, but only for start menu. Apparently Windows 8 was the most fastest Windows. And I think that's pretty cool, because when was there a fast Windows in the last few years? Oh, I don't remember that. Oh, okay. Okay, you are correct. I think they had like some weird UI where you had to, oh my god, place your cursor at the top right corner of your screen, and then there was like a flyout UI, and then you could do stuff there. But I don't remember if it also was for the clock and the volume control. Couldn't tell you. What's up, man? Trace? Welcome, welcome. So I kind of lost track of what I wanted to do. Happened so fast with me. Anyway, if there was a Windows I really want to go back, then it would be Windows 7. The UI was so nice. Looked so sexy. Yeah, Windows Vista was pretty good too. Was ahead of its time, so it was had quite a bad reputation, and because of driver support and such. But was a good step forward, I guess, for Windows. I mean, I used to say, oh, I wish Windows XP was still a thing, but when I look back at Windows XP, it actually quite sucked. Not for the time, of course, but when I look back now at it, it sucked. Okay, wait. The main menu, we have the enable. Oh, we definitely need to fix that. Auto enable selected cams, so there are all the cameras. Yeah, okay, the search function actually worked. That's true. But I think for Windows XP it's mostly nostalgia, I believe. Oh yeah, everything. Yeah, I heard about that app. Okay, edit cam. So we have cam of FOV offset and the back offset, which only gets set when we press the right analog stick, of course. Yeah, that's true. I also really never use Windows Search to search for files. I mean, I don't use it at all. I just try to remember where I put stuff. Yeah, the Windows indexing probably. Okay, the hood camera is good, but let's adjust the back camera. Let's see how well this works. So we definitely want it to go negative. Let's do negative 20. Okay, might be a little bit too much, I think. It's a little bit harder to tell now. Let's do 10 and then do some small increments. Oh, I think the cam has an offset now. Does it? An X offset. Let's do -5. Okay, honestly, why? Okay, you know what? Let's. do a little helper function. Within the oh man, I can't wait for Windows 12. Must be the best operating system ever. Temp back cam. Oh, wait. There might be a better way. Or I'm GUI iv.is key down, and then I'm GUI. Wait, what does it want? I'm GUI key. Oh, okay. Stick. Ah, right. Down. Yeah, the Windows K2 project. Yeah. Complete garbage. Unfortunately. Let's see. Nope, doesn't work. Why doesn't work? This is weird. Why doesn't it work? Gamepad. Stick down. Little debugging. Yeah, I hate how Microsoft abandons every UI library they created. This is so annoying. Extremely annoying. Like, which UI library do you want me to use now, since you abandoned it? Oh, this is the wrong key. Game patch. Ah, okay, it's called. Oh my god. I should have known. I should have known. I should have known. Okay. Why was this camera different? Why can't I look back when the menu is open? What value is this? Okay, it is true. But when the this is weird. It still registers. It still shows true, but the camera It's not changing. Let's see, crazy. Oh, this might be. This could conflict. What else is there? Button. Stick left, right. Oh, okay, this is why. This probably messes with Rhyme GUI. Let's see. I completely. This still won't work. Because this is the same value. But I need to check. Okay, if this value is now no longer changing, we know why. It's still changing, but it doesn't allow us to look back. Oh wait, maybe it does now? No. Quite weird. Let's see. I don't know why. Well, I don't think that 4K would make sense. 1080p is completely fine, I think. Also, my bandwidth would be blowing up. Not even sure if I can stream in 4K. Definitely not on Twitch, I think. Maybe YouTube. Yep. I think my bandwidth is already close. Well, you can watch on Twitch, the resolution is higher there actually. 900 something p. Oh my god. No way, wait. No way. No way. This, yes, this, okay, this is different. Okay, it's, okay, wait, I didn't. Damn. But this might be could have been a problem, definitely. Maybe it works now. Let's key down, I'm GUI key. And then reload the scripts. Yeah, okay, now it works. Now it works. I used the wrong operator. This is that was a fail. Okay, what if I do -24? Okay. But wait, it's the back camera. Why does it? Ah, okay, I know why. Because this variable is also used in the process camera. So we do also need to set it here. So now it works. Reload the script. Select the camera. Looks different. I think it might also be that doesn't look right. Or is it? Wait. Is it disabled? No, nope. Now? Nope. You should make it so people can pay you $5 to play a loud air raid siren for 10 seconds. I would probably die. Heart attack. It might be the shadow. The shadow might be throwing me off. Yeah, I think so. It looks like the camera is offset. Like, because the shadow is on the left side here. So it looks like the offset is incorrect. Let's rotate. So now it looks centered. Please stay there, son. It confuses me. Time, freeze time. Okay. So let's raise the Z value a bit. By how much is the question? 1 maybe? 1 looks fine. Definitely not gonna do all the values now. Or right now. 1 looks pretty good. Maybe 0.9 or 0.8. Let's do 0.9. Oh. Needs to be put back a little bit, I guess. Alright, let's try 0.8 again. Oh. Yeah, I think for now this is alright. I just wanted to get this working. Oh shit. Wait, why is this enabled? Okay, one thing I need to fix is the enable and disable thing, because this doesn't work. And then I think we might watch a video finally. Auto enable. Deactivate cam, activate cam, deactivate cam, deactivate cam. Okay, something is preventing us from enabling or disabling the camera. Yes, sometimes it can be quite a pain actually, because I'm quite the perfectionist, but I mean, I try my best to make it as perfect as I can. I try my best. Apply camera values. Let's see, this does not activate or deactivate the cam. We need to okay. There are 3 places from where this function is getting called, the activate cam. Okay, wait, let's examine this a little bit more. Let's reload. So all the variables and such are set to the default value. So it's not enabled and no camera is selected. So the mod should be, or the custom camera should be off, and it is. Let's enable it. it doesn't work because we did not select a camera yet. Let's disable it. But let's select a camera with this disabled and disactivate it. So something, and we cannot disable it. What if we set this to none again and then, okay, this works. Okay, when we change it, when we change the selected camera to something else, then it automatically enables. So let's take a little look at the UI. Let's trace it back. So main menu, combo box item, selected cam. So this is a code that gets invoked when we select a new camera. Okay, this only does, oh, okay, it sets the current custom camera to the camera we found. And then we set the offsets. But that shouldn't actually enable the camera just yet. Auto enable is also off, so this here shouldn't even be called, this function. And see, it only sets the offset if the camera is actually active. So let's see where camera active is being called. Right here, within the active cam function, like expected. And yeah, from this is the only function, so definitely okay. It's definitely not an issue here, pretty sure it's not. Activate cam if analog stick left and analog stick right is pressed, then it toggles. I mean, shouldn't be an issue because I'm not pressing those. But this should also not be called. Then it might actually be because I'm setting the camera. Oh my god. Oh no, wait, this is the wrong function. Oop. I thought this was the combo box. Okay, try get custom camera by name. Let's just comment those two out and see how it behaves then. Probably doesn't even work at all because no camera is set now. Oh, this is kind of weird. Okay, something is... Oh, okay, this is update camera list. This is not the issue. Create UI. Okay, activate cam. This also accesses the selected camera. I'm kind of confused. It might be a really simple thing. Yeah, 100%. quite a struggle with perfection actually. Okay, this is the only place the camera gets activated. And this should also... This should be the only place where it gets activated. Kinda confused, I'm not gonna lie. Selected cam, activate cam. Switch between cams. Select button pressed. This only works when the camera is active. Update cameras list, this was the first result. Pretty weird. Not gonna lie. This might be something really, really obvious. Happened to me so often. Maybe I can make this code a little bit better. Camera is active. This only gets called when the camera is active, and it shouldn't be active. Let's make sure. Cam is null. If the camera is null, then we create it, but we deactivate it instantly. So this also shouldn't be an issue. So camera is not active. Let's get in. Still no message, which is expected. Let's press enable. Nothing happens because we did not select a camera. Yeah, let's select the camera and it's active. Wow. And now it's no longer active and the message disappears. This is actually confusing me. Just a little bit. Auto enable is not active, is it? Let's comment this out. If this is the issue, then okay, it's commented out. And let's select root. Oh my god. It was actually auto enabling. No way, but it did not show up in the menu. Because I probably forgot to set the default value when the mod is loading. And not the default value, the current value in the INI file. Okay, this is actually glad we got that sorted out. A little bit annoying though, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. So wait, the value is actually true in the INI? Yes, auto enable is true. Wonderful. So auto enable, yeah, we do not even set it when the mod loads. Auto enable cam. Wait, we can actually give it a default value right in the constructor. Can we? We actually cannot. Weird decision. So it has a unique name, text, a name, and a description, and then an action that gets invoked when we check the item or uncheck it. So let's go into Sharp UI. Yeah, let's go into Sharp UI and add a constructor for it that takes in a default value. Checkbox item. Copy this constructor. And let's put it after the description. Default value. Then we, yeah, checked equals false. Nope, checked equals default value. Yeah, that's the advantage when you do it yourself. Of course, it's much more work, but it's nice. It's nice. So, what was it? Okay, then we also don't need a unique name actually. So we can now give it a when it updates. Yeah, we can give it a default value, which is just the mod settings.autoenable value. Let's, okay, it is already in place again. Let's reload the mod. Oh, okay, need to restart GTA 4 with the updated Sharp UI library. Boom. Okay, and after that I might okay. So, yeah, I accidentally muted myself. I wanted to drink something and then I forgot to unmute myself. So, auto enable was active. We now actually see it, thankfully. So, as expected, when we select the camera, it auto enables. And when auto enable is off and we select the camera, nothing happens. I think the... Okay, let's exit. Select a hood camera, then auto enable turned on. And it auto enables. Like expected. Yeah, this was kind of the brain. Was kind of a brain fluke, not gonna lie. Glad I found the issue. It was such a simple issue, like it always is. Simply forgot to set the value to the currently value set in the INI file of the mod. Okay, let's exit out of here. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. One love, brother. I mean, it was a nice video, and you all are gonna see it now. Yeah, unfortunately, the native with which I set determine if the player is getting into a car. Oh wait, I can actually wait. Is Char getting into a car? Okay. Yeah, I gotta try this one last time, one last try, one last thing. So we only auto enable the car, auto enable the cam if the character is no longer getting into a car. Let's see if this works. Current player handle. Okay, since we use it in two places, let's store the handle in a separate variable. Player handle. So we don't have to call the function twice. Okay, one last try. See if it works. Okay. Oops, I accidentally reloaded. Okay, auto enable. 3 minutes behind. What the hell? I thought for a second it was my delay. But yeah. Okay, auto enable is active and we selected the hood camera. So let's see if this works. Oh no. Yeah. Not sure. Wait. Wait, now I'm curious. Why doesn't it work? What's the value of the thing, the native? Is Char getting into a car? No, no, the taskbar. This is wonderful. Two Windows Explorers again. Ah, okay. Wait, did I, wait. Yep, okay, thanks for reminding me. I don't know, man, I'm kinda through the wind today. It should be, and. This was an or. So it would always pass. Now it should only pass if this is true and this is false. Yeah, I don't know what's going on today. As I said, I'm kind of tired. Not anymore, really. Might be the monster, but I'm still confused. As you guys can see. Damn. Not the best day to code today. But still got some stuff done. Okay, let's see. So auto enable is active, and let's select the hood cam, and let's get in. It still doesn't. Okay, I actually was pretty sure that it would work now. Whoa, this took Nico a while to get in. Okay, one last thing. Let's check the value of the native. Is Char getting into a car? Yeah, I'm kinda speed running this, which probably isn't the best approach. Okay. Wait, let's move this up here. Wait, is Char getting into a... Okay, this should still work. Okay, it's false. That's correct. You know what? Let's try it with another car. Okay, let's get in. Oh, it's... Oh, it... Okay. Okay, it's only true if Nico actually has the get in animation. Not when I... So I press the get in key. He walks through the car. But it's false. And it's only true when he actually gets in the vehicle. I thought it would work different. Like when I press F, I mean the character now has the task to get in a car. That's what I thought the native would do. I mean, I can try it like that. So it now waits if this actually returns true. But it doesn't show the who will get in animation. Let's see. So it's okay. Let's also select the camera. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. No. This is kind of not. This is. It is false in the beginning, and it's only true when Nico has the get in animation. I don't think this is really working. This isn't really working. Not that it couldn't be done. It definitely can be done. But yeah. Yeah, I will try next time. This is more of a quality of life thing. I guess a cosmetic thing. This is more of a cosmetic thing. Okay, some stuff has been done. Not everything. yeah, that will be for the next time, I guess. So I guess I'm gonna switch over to the React part of the stream. I'm a real streamer now, I react to stuff. Yeah. So let's close Visual Studio for good. And yeah. Are you guys ready for the actual goodies that released a day ago? Quite a banger video, not gonna lie. A lot of stuff I actually learned too. I did not know that GTA 4 modding got this good. I was very surprised. And also a bit shocked. Okay, let's switch over to the React scene. There we go. As you can see, we are live in Nico's apartment. And basically Nico reacts to videos. Let's drag over the YouTube channel. And watch not AJ's latest video. Yeah, this is the green screen. Nico chilling, watching some videos. This might be not the same UI that YouTube had back in 2008, but it's fine. So let's start it. Oh, let's also pause the music. And paste the link in the chat, because this video definitely deserves a like. And not AJ deserves a subscription. Exactly, this was the word. Is this the correct URL? Yes. Okay, let's watch the video.
Is notoriously
Oh. Let's do full screen. Yeah, it is better.
broken, and it's unfortunate because this game has one of the most compelling storylines in the entire franchise. The game received a few updates over the years, but none of them addressed any of its underlying issues. That's where the modding community stepped in and decided to do it themselves.
What?
They've done a massive amount of work on
Okay, like an actual streamer, I gotta pause because I want to say stuff too. Yeah, Rockstar could have never done this what the community did for the game. Rockstar could only remove stuff and make the game worse. That's unfortunately the truth. Let's continue.
the PC version, like fixing shaders, restoring some of the missing assets from the console versions, touching up the visuals, and improving the game's overall quality of life. That brings us to Gillian's mod pack, which brings many of these improvements together to deliver what I would consider the definitive GTA 4 experience. Before we get into the pack itself though, there are a couple of important things you should know. This mod pack and this video are based on Gillian's guide, which is essentially a handbook of really useful information for modding GTA 4. Not only does it explain how to install the pack, but it also breaks down each and every mod it uses and provides links to their downloads. Because of this, you don't have to install the entire pack if you don't want to. You can install certain mods individually from the guide, or update them yourself if something gets updated before the pack does. This quite literally gives you a ton of flexibility. Now, whether you install the pack or just each mod separately, you should always start with the clean installation of Grand Theft Auto 4 from Steam or the Rockstar launcher. And
That's
while
true.
it isn't
That's true. Always start fresh. Very important.
necessarily required, I highly
I mean, I don't think you need to apologize for your pronunciation. I mean, what would I need to do? Mine is even worse.
recommend starting a new save game as well. Your existing save games might
I mean, not that I say that your pronunciation is worse. For me, it sounds fucked. Sorry, sounds fine.
work fine, but it's honestly much safer to start a new one just to rule out any potential bugs. That said, let's get into the mod pack. Helion has two separate archives of this mod pack, which support two different versions of GTA 4. The Complete Edition, which is the most up-to-date version of the game, uses a variant of the mod pack called Faithful Vanilla, while version 1080, which is an older version of the game, uses another variant of the mod pack called Vanilla Plus. Helion doesn't exactly label them that way, but I'll be referring to them that way throughout the video. Faithful Vanilla focuses on fixing the PC version while staying true to the original art style Rockstar intended for GTA 4. It's overall more stable and more polished, and it's usually recommended for those who are playing the game for the first time. Vanilla Plus, on the other hand, is an extension of Faithful Vanilla, but with the added quality of life improvements of the game at the cost of some fixes from Fusion Fix. This is because Fusion Fix mainly supports the latest edition of the game, but unlike the Complete Edition, you don't have to worry about dealing with the Rockstar Games launcher, which is honestly just
One thing I gotta say about Fusion Fix not supporting 1080 as much as the latest. It's very sad, but I totally get it. Focus on one game version. And I think the latest, it does make sense. Yeah. I mean, you can just download it on Steam or Works Against Launcher and the game works. You don't need to do any downgrading.
a huge headache altogether. With that said, let's get into showing the mods that are within the pack. We'll start this video with Faithful Vanilla, since it shares most of its mods with Vanilla Plus. Then, later on in the video, I'll transition into Vanilla Plus so you can get an idea of what it adds. Let's begin with Fusion Fix, which is the most essential mod in this entire pack. It addresses a wide range of issues with GTA 4 on PC, most of which never showed up on the console versions. A primary example of that is Z-fighting, which is the flickering and shimmering effect that you'd often see at certain distances around the map. It's easily one of the most annoying issues in GTA 4's PC port. Fusion Fix was able to get rid of Z-fighting entirely. Similar to Z-fighting, Fusion Fix corrects a number of broken emissive shaders around the map. In the vanilla game, most of the neon signs along the street of Roman's apartment in Hove Beach are usually off at night, even though they're actually supposed to be on. You can tell they're meant to be on because when you walk closer to them and pan the camera just slightly, the emissive lights will begin to fade in. Rockstar unfortunately broke the game's emissive shaders when they pushed out version 1060 on PC. Before that update, this issue never even existed. This same issue happens with the Rotterdam Tower, where part of the building doesn't light up with its blue and white lighting, but thanks to Fusion Fix, it finally does. While we're on the topic of GTA 4's overall broken shaders, it's important to discuss the game's shadows, which have a notoriously strange history across different versions on PC. For this video specifically, I'll be referring to the 4 widely used versions of GTA 4, that being versions 1040, 1070, 1080, and the Complete Edition, which at the time of this video's release is version 1.2.0.59. Let's first talk about shadow quality. I'll be using the shadows cast by the CCTV tower as a reference. Across the 4 versions of GTA 4, it's clear that version 1040 has the softest looking shadows, and there was no way to make them any sharper. Rockstar then improved the resolution of the shadows in version 1060 to be much sharper, which then carried over to versions 1070, 1080, and the Complete Edition. Because of this, 1040's shadows undoubtedly look far inferior to its subsequent versions. But what if I told you that the shadows on version 1080 and the Complete Edition were actually inferior to version 1070? The best way to show that is under the train tracks near Roman's apartment in Hove Beach, specifically looking at the shadows cast by the grate through these square gaps. As you can see on version 1040, the grate shadow is actually missing. Rockstar eventually added it in version 1070, and since it also has sharper looking shadows, it's undoubtedly the best. Version 1080 and the Complete Edition should replicate the exact same behavior as version 1070, but it's obvious that the grate shadow is entirely missing. Also, something that you might have noticed earlier when we looked at the CCTV tower is that the shadow on version 1040 somehow looked a bit shorter than the ones in the later version.
I did not realize that the first time I watched the video. Like the first time I saw this scene, but it's actually true. It is a little bit shorter.
Well, that's because the shadows in the later versions are actually detached from the objects that cast them. So while the overall shadow resolution improved over the years, the game certainly took a massive step backwards in casting shadows correctly. This is especially noticeable with the game's trees, which also cast their shadows incorrectly.
I actually don't know. I never noticed this. This is so weird. Damn. Have you guys ever seen this? Never seen it actually, or noticed, or realized, whatever.
Especially noticeable with the game's trees, which also cast their shadows incorrectly. The trees in this example are filled with leaves and have no exposed branches, yet somehow the shadows appear to show branches protruding from the top of them. Beyond that though, the shadows in the vanilla game are outright broken in certain areas. If you go under the train tracks in Firefly projects, the shadows constantly flicker and bug out. This is where Fusion Fix comes in and significantly improves the game's shadows. First, it fixes the flickering shadows in places like Firefly projects, making them cast perfectly. And it even restores the missing shadows where they should be correctly cast, like the ones from the grate of the train tracks in Hove Beach. It also re-anchors the shadows that were detached from the objects casting them. When it comes to trees, their shadows are also cast correctly with Fusion Fix. What you might also notice is that tree shadows are now animated with Fusion Fix as well. This accurately mirrors the leaves swaying in the wind, unlike the vanilla game where the shadows are just completely static. Fusion Fix also goes a step further by actually letting you choose how you want your shadows to look. In the graphic settings, there's a new option called Shadow Filter. If you set it to soft, it replicates the softer style of version 1040's shadows. If you set it to sharp, you get the crisp look from version 1070's shadows. But the absolute best option is CHSS, which stands for Contact Hardening Soft Shadows. If you're not familiar with how it works, CHSS basically makes it so that a shadow is sharp when it's close to the object casting it, and becomes progressively softer as it gets farther away. You'll notice that the CCTV tower has a sharper shadow on the right since the base is closest to the ground, while the shadow stretching to the left looks much softer since it's furthest away from the tower. Just keep in mind that to actually use CHSS, you need to have the game's native shadow quality set to very high. Even though I already covered the issues with trees casting their shadows, the trees themselves suffer from their own graphical defects. On PC, tree foliage is noticeably flatter and much noisier when compared to console. Some trees from a distance, like the ones on the left here in Middle Park, tend to have a noisy and shimmery effect. And if we zoom in even further, you can see exactly why. The leaves here have screen door transparency, which is why the trees look noisier at farther distances. Fusion Fix gets rid of the noise by removing the screen door effect on the leaves. Before I talk a little bit more about trees, I want to quickly note that the tree models you're about to see in this video are actually from another mod in the pack called Console Visuals, which essentially restores a few assets from the console versions of GTA 4 and brings them over to PC with some improvements. Tree models, of course, being one of them. Fusion Fix has a couple of options in the display settings that lets you tweak the appearance of these trees, both of which have the options PC, Console, and PC Plus. The PC Plus option is an improved version made by the Fusion Fix team, which essentially mixes the effects from both console and PC. So let's go through these options one by one. The tree lighting setting controls the vegetation's ambient occlusion.
One thing, have you tried DaVinci Resolve yet? Not AJ? Have you heard about it? A free alternative and powerful video editor. Maybe that's something for you. I mean, I think it's missing some things from Adobe, but I think it also makes some things better.
Here's PC, Console, and PC Plus. The Tree Alpha setting, on the other hand, controls the foliage's transparency. Here's PC, Console, and PC Plus. Just like shadows, GTA 4's water has its own set of bugs. In the graphic settings, the water quality setting is only supposed to control the resolution of water reflections. But in the vanilla game, Rockstar accidentally tied this setting to a shared noise map. Because of this, altering your water quality changes the wave density across the surface of the water. Despite the reflections looking sharper, switching it from low to very high immediately makes the water look more noisy than wavy. And weirdly enough, it even affects the intensity of the film grain effect in the Lost and Damned DLC.
Okay, let me just say, it's crazy how much stuff they got wrong with the PC port. How can they accidentally tie the water graphic settings to the noise thingy? How does this even happen? Who did the PC port?
You can actually see how drastically the film noise changes when you set the water quality from low to very high. This is where Fusion Fix comes in and untangles this broken mess. So now changing the water quality setting no longer changes the water's wave density, and it does the same exact thing for the Lost in Dam's film grain effect. This means that the water quality setting finally does what it was meant to do, just control the reflection resolution of the water. But the issues with water don't stop there. At various shorelines in the vanilla game, you'll notice that the water often has a sharp and abrupt cutoff right where it meets the land. There's no blending whatsoever. With Fusion Fix, the water now naturally blends and fades into the shoreline. Since we're talking about shorelines, it's important to point out the missing seafoam effect in the vanilla game, which in fact the console versions have, but the PC version doesn't. Fusion Fix was able to restore this, so now the water actually foams white when it swashes on the sand. Speaking of water, Fusion Fix also addressed a couple of issues with the game's rain. First, in the vanilla game, you'll notice that rain is practically invisible, especially at night. You can barely see their streaks or their splashes. Fusion Fix was able to correct this by making them more visibly apparent. Furthermore, GTA 4 has a pretty neat effect where water droplets appear on the screen when looking upward during rainy weather. However, this effect is only broken on the PC version of the game, where the water droplets almost appear as if they're black. Fusion Fix addresses this and makes it look closer to the way they were supposed to be.
Honestly, I got so used to these black water splashes that I kinda now think white is way too distracting. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
While GTA 4 ran at 720p on the Xbox 360, and even lower at 640p natively on the PS3, both consoles actually had built-in anti-aliasing. The PC version, however, doesn't have it at all, so you'll notice a lot of edges end up looking jagged or stair-step-ish. Fusion Fix implements both FXAA and SMAA anti-aliasing options to clean that up quite a bit, especially at higher resolutions. And speaking of things being jagged, this brings me to vehicle reflections. On the PC version of the game, these were actually weaker and much more distorted compared to the console versions. Fusion Fix restores the reflections from console, which looks much better than what it did before. GTA 4 on PC suffers from poor performance. I don't mean that in the sense of not being able to play the game above 30 FPS, I mean that it stutters a lot. This is because GTA 4 uses DirectX 9, which isn't exactly capable of running the game smoothly, even if the frame rate was capped. The game tends to exceed the draw call limit of DirectX 9, which in turn causes the performance to bottleneck. This was eventually addressed with DXVK, which stands for DirectX to Vulkan, and it acts as a translation layer that converts DirectX 9 to Vulkan. The team behind Fusion Fix later implemented DXVK directly into the mod, allowing for GTA 4's performance to improve significantly and no longer stutter. Speaking of frame rates, GTA 4 has another set of issues that only show up when the game is played above 30 FPS. This makes playing at 60 or anything higher than that difficult to enjoy. An example that's familiar to most people is in the final mission Out of Commission. There's a QuickTime event where you're supposed to repeatedly tap the action button to climb into a helicopter. At higher frame rates, however, no matter how fast you tap the button, you won't be able to get into the helicopter whatsoever. This ends up failing the mission altogether. But with Fusion Fix, the QuickTime event will work normally regardless of your frame rate. You can finally get through the rest of the mission at 60 FPS and higher. Cutscenes are also negatively affected at higher frame rates. You'll often notice that the characters judder quite a bit, and the camera's field of view can sometimes be way too high or even too low. Thanks to Fusion Fix, cutscenes will play normally regardless of your frame rate. As you can see, characters no longer judder, and the camera's field of view is kept exactly where it's supposed to be. I've covered many of these high FPS issues in greater depth in other videos, which you can find linked in the cards at the top right. Even though Fusion Fix makes playing at high FPS more manageable than ever before, I'd still recommend capping the game to 60 FPS. Fusion Fix includes a built-in FPS limiter, which you can find in the pause menu in the graphic settings. So I've talked quite a bit about how Fusion Fix addresses many of the game's issues, but it also adds a couple of visual touches, specifically sun shafts and volumetric fog.
Oh my god.
Both of these blend and volumetric, specifically sun shafts.
Sun shafts, awesome, adds so much to the game, but when I saw volumetric fog today,
and volumetric fog.
This looks so good. It's so fitting for GTA 4. Oh my god. I was so surprised. That looks so nice.
Both of these blend so well into GTA 4's atmosphere, and they don't feel intrusive to the game's original art style whatsoever. Sun shafts are especially nice when you see the sun rays being occluded by tree foliage and other objects. Volumetric fog, on the other hand, stands out pretty good.
Okay, this looks so good. Oh my god. This is so nice. Oh my god. Wow. Looks like Silent Hill. Well, no, not really. Okay. Not really. Silent Hill is much more foggier, but this is okay.
Good when you're high up in a helicopter, giving the city a real sense of depth. These features are optional though, so you can enable or disable them anytime in the graphic settings. You might have also noticed another option underneath those two, that being ambient occlusion. That's right, Fusion Fix implemented ambient occlusion into GTA 4, more specifically SSAO. This is a brand new feature that was just implemented this year. If you're not familiar with how it works, ambient occlusion basically adds shadows to corners, crevices, and to objects with creases. In the vanilla game, shadows are only generated by objects blocking light from a directional source, like the sun for example. But the game's overall ambient lighting isn't directional, therefore it doesn't cast its own shadows, which means that tight corners and crevices don't get any shading whatsoever. This makes the lighting in shadowed areas, like alleyways for example, seem a bit flat. But turning on ambient occlusion with Fusion Fix generates those shadows from the ambient lighting, and it looks pretty good. As you might agree, the lighting in this alleyway is much better with it enabled. Fusion Fix also implemented another visual feature into GTA 4, snow. That's right, it is in fact snowing in Liberty City. Fusion Fix injects this using a shader that covers many objects around the city in snow. This might feel familiar if you played GTA Online during its annual winter event. So you might be wondering then, how and when does snow activate in GTA 4? There are two ways to do this. The first is through a cheat code. I won't show the cheat code here in the video since there are various Easter eggs in the game that hint towards what it is. But if you want to find out the easier way, you can look it up directly in Gillian's guide. The second way is by letting it activate automatically during the winter season, which usually runs from late December into early January. But if you don't want snow to automatically activate, you can disable the seasonal events option in the pause menu.
Nice
snow can still be enabled or disabled manually at any time using the cheat code. Fusion Fix also implements Project 2D effects, which makes distant lights appear substantially better compared to the vanilla game. On top of that, it also fixes a strange bug where light coronas, including the ones from vehicles, would randomly flicker on and off. And talking about lights, Fusion Fix also restores volumetric light occlusion in areas where it has fully functional volumetric lighting, like the kitchen light in Roman's apartment for example. The console versions always had this, but the PC version never did due to a typo in the game's code. While we're on the topic of visuals, GTA 4's color curves drastically changed when the game got ported to PC. When compared to the console versions, the colors on PC looked noticeably washed out. This is because consoles were specifically tuned to boost saturation and apply a slight crush to blacks, which made the game look more vibrant on the TVs of that era, whereas the PC version, on the other hand, adheres to a flatter, more standard color profile. Fusion Fix has the option to restore colors from the console versions, simply by enabling console gamma in the display settings. On top of that, Fusion Fix also has the option to restore the auto exposure effect that exists on the console versions. It gives the getting blinded effect, which is missing in the vanilla game on PC. Fusion Fix also added a couple of other options in the display settings, that being motion blur and depth of field. In the vanilla game, the only way to get these was by disabling the definition option in the graphic settings. Having the two tied together like that isn't necessarily ideal, especially since you might want one of them without the other. In fact, the definition setting itself is supposed to be an option of its own that simply smooths out stippled and dithered objects to reduce shimmering and aliasing. That is if you disable it, of course. But disabling it in the vanilla game inadvertently smears the game's image, which in turn causes the image to actually shift. And just in case somebody does ask, no, I did not change the camera's angle or its position at all for this shot. This is unfortunately the game's doing. So now let's talk about how Fusion Fix improves on this. First, it makes it so that motion blur and depth of field are completely independent of one another, so now they can be toggled separately. You can even adjust the strength of these two to your liking, or just turn them off altogether if you prefer. Fusion Fix also makes the definition setting independent by allowing it to function exactly as it was meant to. And disabling it no longer smears the game's image. When you're trying to aim precisely with the mouse in GTA 4, you'll notice it doesn't really react to small movements. Your aim only starts to move once you move the mouse faster or crank up your sensitivity. This is known as mouse dead zone. Fusion Fix fixes this entirely and finally allows you to—
Oh, this would be so nice to have in multiplayer. I hated that dead zone. Oh my god. I actually didn't know that Fusion Fix fixes that. That's crazy. It looks so much
aim
better.
precisely even with the smallest mouse movements. Fusion Fix also added a couple of gameplay options that weren't present in the vanilla game. One of them lets you move around while you're scoped in with a sniper rifle, and another lets you switch to third person while doing so. You can now also adjust the game's field of view with a slider in the display settings. And you can also center the game's camera. This is split into two separate options that you can enable independently, one of which is on foot and the other while in a vehicle. You're centering the game's camera on foot. And here's centering the camera in a vehicle.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this looks wrong.
And while we're on the topic of gameplay
offset.
improvements, it's worth mentioning that controller support has been extended in the game thanks to Fusion Fix. The vanilla game only had button icons for the Xbox 360 controller, but you can now switch them in the control settings to whichever controller you're using. It adds every Xbox and PlayStation controller, and even handhelds like the Steam Deck. It even comes with a control map for each one. If you're using a PlayStation controller, the buttons on the in-game cell phone also switch from green to blue, similar to how they look on the PS3. Similar to ambient occlusion, Fusion Fix also tackled another long-lasting bug this year that GTA 4 had since day one. While driving on the Broker or Algonquin Bridge in the vanilla game, you might notice that cars will randomly swerve to the right for no apparent reason. This actually happens because the NPCs detect the subway trains passing underneath and treat them as if they're coming head-on. I've included a more detailed explanation of this bug in the description if you're curious.
In Fusion Fix.
But with Fusion Fix, NPCs will drive normally and no longer randomly swerve due to the train while you're on the bridges.
They probably had a better solution than I had. Pretty sure.
I talked a bit earlier about how GTA 4 has water droplets on the screen when looking upward during rainy weather. There's also another mod in this pack called Xbox Rain Droplets, which essentially adds an improved version of water droplets on the screen. You'll notice that the droplets are actually dynamic compared to the original ones in the vanilla
Yeah, I've seen. Thanks for linking my video. That's very nice.
game. These droplets also appear when standing in water fountains.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this is a much better solution. Much better.
Or while riding boats. In addition to that, getting shot or engaging in close quarters combat will form blood droplets on the screen. Just keep in mind that these blood droplets are actually disabled by default in the pack. But if you want to use this feature, you can easily enable it by opening the config file in Notepad and changing the value for blood drops from 0 to 1. And if you prefer not to use the mod at all, you can simply remove the Xbox Rain Droplet files from the game altogether. One of the mods in this pack that complements Fusion Fix very well is Various Fixes. It addresses a wide range of bugs, restores a bit of console and beta content, include various improvements, and just a whole lot more. It goes without saying that there are hundreds and hundreds of changes that this mod makes to GTA 4. Since I won't be able to cover everything in the video, I'll just highlight a few of the things it does. I talked a bit earlier about how Fusion Fix addresses many broken emissive shaders. Various Fixes essentially improves on the game's emissive lighting in certain areas, like the sign on the Twitchin's Sugar Factory that only has this one light at the center. But with Various Fixes, the lights will now properly surround the words. Various Fixes also fixes the windows that appear overly bright on certain buildings in Firefly projects during the day. The grass in Outlook Park looks a bit glossy when it's raining in the vanilla game. This mod fixes that issue and restores the way grass is meant to naturally appear when it's raining.
I actually don't know. Did I not pay attention or did I just not play GTA 4 enough? Because I actually don't remember the grass looking that glossy.
Fixes that issue and restores the way grass is meant to naturally
I'm questioning my whole GTA 4 playtime. I don't know.
appear when it's raining. When looking at the boot tunnel from a certain distance, the roads and other surrounding surfaces lose their textures. This is clearly a broken LOD issue. This mod fixes it, along with a number of other broken LODs in the game. Various fixes also addresses a small inconsistency with Tom Goldberg's portrait at his law office. On the PC version, the painting actually uses Goldberg's original beta design, which looks
The glossy grass. I don't think I noticed this really.
nothing like his final character model. This was actually fixed on the console versions, and thanks to various fixes, the PC version finally has the correct portrait as well. Speaking of character inconsistencies, the next mod has to do with how GTA 4 compares to its two DLCs, that being The Lost and Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony. When Rockstar sign on the various bit of content and
there's too much
content, there are how Firefly training in the vanilla game.
You see that? Damn, looks quite weird.
This mod fixes that
Looks much better.
issue and restores actually. And finally, this mod has to do with how GTA 4 compares to its two DLCs, that being The Lost and Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony. When Rockstar released the DLCs, they either altered or improved the way certain characters looked compared to the base game. For example, Ashley from The Lost and Damned looks noticeably different in the DLC than she does in GTA 4, and frankly, much better. The same goes for both Tony and Luis in The Ballad of Gay Tony, who also look better than how they appear in both GTA 4 and The Lost and Damned. What Rockstar never did, however, was update those character models in the base game, which in a sense breaks continuity across the 3 episodes. That's where the Character Fixes mod addresses these inconsistencies between GTA 4 and its 2 DLCs. So now, Ashley appears in GTA 4 the same way she does in The Lost and Damned, and the same goes for both Tony and Luis with how they appear in The Ballad of Gay Tony. On GTA 4's 10th anniversary, Rockstar pushed out an update that removed about 54 songs from the original game. Radio stations like Vladivostok FM and Liberty Rock Radio suffered the most from this. In addition to that, Vladivostok FM got 11 new songs that were released after 2008, which creates a bit of a time paradox within the game's story. Yeah, so much for a 10th anniversary, right? But that's where Radio Restoration comes in. It brings back all of the original songs that were removed from GTA 4. It also restores the original pause menu vocals for The Ballad of Gay Tony. So I've gone over quite a few mods in this pack already that fix and improve GTA 4. One of the most impressive parts that I haven't gone over yet is its vastly improved variety. This begins with restored props and pedestrians. The mod pack restores several pre-release, beta, and unused props to the map that never made it into the final version of the game. It also restores character models that were either unused or only present in the betas. You'll even see trees restored to their original positions from the beta version of the game, which were probably removed just to save on performance back in the day. The pack also includes a mod called Various Pedestrian Actions, which adds, corrects, and completes dozens of unfinished actions for pedestrians and improves overall pedestrian activity. So instead of NPCs just drinking coffee or smoking, you'll now see people eating ice cream, hot dogs, burgers, or even a bag of peanuts while they walk. The mod pack also comes with Fidelity Pop Cycle and new game parameters for traffic and transport, which essentially changes the density and variety of the population based on the region itself. Each part of the map is now appropriately populated with both pedestrian and vehicle types that actually belong there. For example, you'll see various commercial trucks and stockades down near the docks in East Hook, while you might see a few sports cars in certain parts of southern Algonquin. In the vanilla game, certain areas lack overall pedestrian activity. The parking lot at the front of the airport is a great example of this, as it's usually empty with maybe a couple of parked cars here and there. But with these mods, areas like these are now filled with pedestrians doing various activities, like looking through their trunks or fixing their engines. The population is now also heavily tied to the time of day. Residential areas experience a morning rush hour between 6 and 10 AM on weekdays. Weekends, on the other hand, have fewer rush hours and less traffic in both residential and industrial areas. Mornings and evenings overall have more pedestrians and vehicles out in the city, but it otherwise settles down during the middle of the day. As you'd expect, the city starts to quiet down once it gets dark. However, popular areas like Star Junction and the Triangle typically stay busy 24/7. Even rougher districts like Firefly Projects actually tend to stay somewhat active after dark. This is partially thanks to another mod called Potential Grim, which improves overall gang and criminal activity. The pop cycle further improves this by adjusting the variety of pedestrians that have a chance to spawn at any given time. To take full advantage of this pop cycle, it's highly recommended to set your vehicle density to 100 in the graphic settings. In fact, the pop cycle was designed to be that way, so setting it any lower would defeat the purpose of having it in the first place. If you are not using the pop cycle, then do not set this to 100 as it could create a mess. So I've gone over quite a few mods already on Faithful Vanilla, and I figure now it's time to transition to Vanilla Plus. But before I do, I'd like to give an honorable mention to a few other mods in the pack that really round out the experience. The first couple of mods give the in-game vehicles a much needed facelift, specifically the Higher Resolution Vehicle Pack and Liberty City Plates. Higher Resolution Vehicle Pack essentially overhauls the texture quality for every vehicle in the game. You'll be able to see the differences on specific details that used to look pixelated. For example, the decals on the Sanchez, which are quite blurry in vanilla, now look incredibly sharp. Even car interiors, like the one in the Rhapsody, have been touched up quite a bit. Also in the vanilla game, you might have noticed that the tires on certain vehicles, such as the Manana for example, have the manufacturer text overlapping over the white walls. This happens because every tire in the game is designed to share a single texture, regardless whether it has a white wall or not. This is obviously very uncommon with these types of tires. Thanks to the Higher Resolution Vehicle Pack, every tire no longer shares the same texture, and white wall tires are now independent without the overlapping text. In addition to that, you might have also noticed that the white walls themselves no longer look fuzzy, unlike the way they do in vanilla. As for normal tires, those with the manufacturer text have improved in resolution quality. It's more legible than the way it is in vanilla. Liberty City Plates is another essential mod that improves the game's vehicle identity. I actually made a video on this mod a while back, so if you want to know more about what it does, you can click the card in the top right to see it. But in short, the mod replaces the static, low-resolution plate texture that simply reads Liberty City with a system that generates unique, randomized plates for every vehicle. It even adds proper Alderney plates, which finally acknowledges that Alderney is modeled after New Jersey and deserves its own regional identity. Moving away from vehicles, some interiors in the vanilla game, like Roman's Cab Depot for example, have windows that let you see the outside from the inside, but not the other way around. A mod in the pack called More Visible Interiors fixes that, so now you can see the inside of Roman's Cab Depot from the outside. The mod also applies this to various other interiors across the map. Since I was just talking about being able to see through windows, let's talk about the mods that improve the game's glass. The first one is Project Glass, which essentially adds cube map reflections to what otherwise is just transparent glass. In the vanilla game, glass is generally anti-reflective and appears as if it's matte plastic. This is noticeably apparent on various glass panels, such as the windows on this elevated walkway at the airport. But these glass panels can now reflect their surroundings with Project Glass. Given that this mod affects glass all around the map, I figured it's worth showing the difference it can make on a few other examples. Here's how it looks on certain windows, like the ones at Burger Shot, certain storefronts like Moto, and even this shopping mall in North Holland. You can see it makes quite the difference. But this isn't just limited to glass panels, it also affects other objects that have glass as well. A great example of that are the TV sets in safe houses, which have screens that appear anti-reflective. With Project Glass, screens like these now reflect their surroundings like the way they should. But what about being able to shoot through glass? In the vanilla game, glass panels are practically impenetrable, so being able to hit anything behind them is a no-go. The only exception to this is car windshields, where bullets can actually pass right through them. So just like car windshields, the bullet penetration mod finally makes glass panels penetrable. Similar to various fixes, another mod that complements Fusion Fix very well is console visuals. I mentioned it a little bit earlier when I was talking about Fusion Fix's tree fixes, but just to recap, this mod restores a few assets from the console versions of GTA 4 and brings them over to PC with some improvements. A primary example of this is the game's fences, which look far superior to the vanilla game on PC. Before I wrap up on Faithful Vanilla, there's one more mod I'd like to go over. This one is specifically exclusive to Faithful Vanilla, that being the Console Select Screen mod.
Oh yeah, gotta say, I love this menu. It's so simple, but I love it. Kinda reminds me a little bit of Red Dead Redemption 2, maybe. Maybe not so much, but I love this menu.
This replaces the game selection menu on PC with the one from the console version, but since it only supports the Complete Edition, it isn't included in Vanilla Plus. With that covered, let's transition into Vanilla Plus. Let's start Vanilla Plus with Liberty Tweaks, a mod that adds a ton of gameplay improvements to GTA 4, starting with the camera. The camera's field of view will change depending on what's happening while you're driving, like speeding up, slowing down, or even going airborne. The camera also sways along with the vehicle whenever it tilts or turns. Some of these improvements can be seen when you're on foot as well. For example, when firing weapons, there's a noticeable amount of camera shake that really helps sell the recoil of the weapon. On top of that, Liberty Tweaks also lets you swap shoulder views while aiming. This wasn't originally in the game, but having it now is quite convenient. Speaking of convenience, Liberty Tweaks also includes a personal vehicle feature, which is heavily inspired by how it works in GTA 5. In the vanilla game, the only way to save a car is to leave it in the yellow parking space outside of a safe house. This obviously means that you risk a higher chance of losing it, especially since certain missions often force you to swap vehicles. With Liberty Tweaks, you can now turn any vehicle into your own in one of two ways. The first is basically an improvement from the vanilla game, where a car you previously used will now be saved. So, if you have to leave it behind during a mission, it'll actually stay right where you left it. However, there's still a chance it could be permanently deleted by the game. Because of that, Liberty Tweaks also included a vehicle tracking system that allows you to keep your car forever. The cost to put a tracker on a vehicle varies depending on the type. So, a sports car like the Banshee will be super expensive, while something like the rusted down version of the Sabre will be super cheap. Anyways, once you have a tracker on it, the vehicle gets its own blip on the map, and it can even be delivered to you after you finish a mission or respawn at a hospital. I'd say having a feature like this is pretty useful. Vehicle customization is vastly improved from the vanilla game with Liberty Tweaks. This mod incorporates an overhaul to the pay and spray shops, where you can choose the colors yourself instead of them being randomized. On top of that, the cost for repairs now depends on how much damage the vehicle has actually taken. So a vehicle with lots of damage will cost you quite a bit, while very little damage will cost much less. Since we're on the topic of vehicles, there are a few other minor improvements that are worth mentioning. First, your brake lights will actually stay on when you're stopped. This pairs perfectly with Fusion Fix's turn signal feature for vehicles. And since we're talking about lights, police vehicles will now have flashing wigwags on their headlights as well. Also, vehicles will no longer try to obnoxiously overtake you while you're stopped. Lastly, when entering certain vehicles, there's a good chance you'll find some items stashed in the glove box. These could be things like money, weapons, armor, or even medkits. Liberty Tweaks calls these items freebies. Liberty Tweaks also lets you quick save at any time in any place, just like how you can in GTA 5. The mod also lets you sprint or jog with the phone in hand. It comes in pretty handy, especially if you're on a call while trying to escape the police. Liberty Tweaks adds another feature similar to GTA 5, that being health regeneration. After staying out of combat for a bit, your health will slowly recover up to 50%, but this will only kick in when you're below half health. If you're still in combat though, your health can actually regenerate up to 25%, but only once the health bar starts flashing red. Another feature worth noting is the ability to lose your
384 gigabyte. Oh my god, that's crazy. Nice work, man. For real. So much effort went into this. And yeah, you can see it. It's a nice video. Damn. That dedication.
wanted level while hiding from the cops. If you manage to hide from the police for a while, especially while you're inside the red and blue flashing zone, your wanted level will gradually decrease. Now I spent a lot of time talking about how Liberty Tweaks makes things more
Now I know why storage is so expensive. Not AJ bought it all. Give it back.
convenient, but the mod balances that by raising the game's difficulty. For example, once you reach a 4-star wanted level or higher, cops will noticeably begin spawning with armor. Liberty Tweaks also introduces a skill-based progression system for both stamina and weapons, which is heavily inspired by the stat system in GTA San Andreas. Stamina is tied to the miles on foot stat in the pause menu, while weapons are tied to the number of kills you have for each weapon class. Take the AK for example, which you can always max out at 600 rounds in the vanilla game prior to 100% game completion. But Liberty Tweaks makes it so that you're initially capped at 30% of that, which is 180 rounds. This threshold will continue to raise for every level you advance, which is governed by the amount of kills you have for the weapon class. This of course being assault rifles. This same concept also applies to weapon accuracy, damage, and range. However, since this changes the overall property,
Yeah, honestly, when I made videos and was finished with them and uploaded it, I thought it would be quite good, but then I thought about something that I could include and I just forgot about it. It's always like that, unfortunately.
of the weapons themselves, NPCs will technically receive the same buffs as well. So the more you level up your weapon skill, the more challenging combat will become. The best part about Liberty Tweaks is how customizable it is. You can enable or disable any of these features however you want in the mod's config file. For instance, you might have noticed that police blips are missing from the minimap. This is a feature that's disabled by default in the pack, but you can re-enable it in the config file if you so prefer. Just keep in mind that even with this option re-enabled, police blips are actually disabled until you beat all the vigilante missions in the game. The same goes for a few other features that are disabled by default in the pack, like losing all your weapons when you die, which also gives you the option to pay a bribe to get them all back. Also, remember when I showed the quick saving feature earlier? It came with another feature that's disabled by default, which is being able to load into your save games at locations where you quick saved. With the feature being disabled, you only load back into your save game at the nearest safe house. All in all, Liberty Tweaks is a massive addition to Vanilla Plus. Speaking of increased difficulty, this brings me to the next mod for Vanilla Plus, that being Better Race 4. In the vanilla game, races are fairly easy to win because the NPCs aren't actually that good at competing with you. This mod raises the difficulty so that they race more competently against you. About a few times in the video, I talked about how certain mods, such as Fusion Fix, improve the game's overall atmosphere. However, the Vanilla Plus pack has a couple of mods to offer that would take it a step further. The first one is Project Thunder, which essentially improves the game's thunderstorms by adding lightning strikes and making only certain parts of the sky light up sporadically. This mod is heavily inspired by the way GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 have their thunderstorms. The last one is 5 Ambiance, which, as you might have guessed, adds some of GTA 5's ambiance to GTA 4. For example, you'll hear certain vehicles, like sports cars or motorcycles, speeding in the distance.
I gotta say, I like the idea of the V-Ambience mod. I mean, that's why I made the mod, because I like the idea and I liked how it sounded in GTA 5. But I'm not sure if GTA 5 sounds are fitting for GTA 4. But I wish there would be sounds for GTA 4. But yeah, GTA 4 doesn't have any sounds for that. True, I still think about remaking the mod actually. I think it isn't an ivsk.net mod at the moment, is it? I forgot. I think it might be an ASI mod. Oh, I want to make it better. But I don't have any GTA 4 fitting sounds, I think. I mean, it's fine, I think. It works.
So we're at the point where I've covered as much as I realistically
GTA 4.
can in this video. There are simply too many mods in this pack to go over every single detail. Even the mods I did showcase have additional features I wasn't able to cover. Like I mentioned earlier, Gillian's guide lays everything out clearly, including installation steps whether you want to use the full pack or just specific mods from it. So let's
Oh, that's a good idea actually.
say you only wanted to get Fusion Fix, various fixes, console visuals, and maybe radio restoration, or even just the mods I showed in the video. The guide will walk you through how to get them. Either way, definitely follow the preparation section of the guide before installing the mod pack or any of the mods in general. It contains a few prerequisites for these mods to work, as well as a few tips and terminology to bear in mind when you're modding the game. The guide also has an additional setup section, where it tells you what launch options to use as well as some optimal graphic settings. I highly recommend following these. There's also a troubleshooting section in case you run into any issues. I know I mentioned it at the start, but it bears reiterating that you should always start with a clean installation of GTA 4 from Steam or the Rockstar launcher. And while it isn't necessarily required, I highly recommend starting a new save game as well. Your existing saves might work fine, but it's honestly much safer to start a new one just to rule out any potential bugs. If for whatever reason the game doesn't boot, behaves strangely, or starts crashing randomly, Gillian's guide recommends disabling mods one by one to find the culprit. At the time of this video's release, Liberty Tweak seems to be a common culprit for these issues if you're on version 1080. The game can crash with it in a few missions, such as but not limited to Truck Hustle, Out of Commission, and Actions Speak Louder Than Words. The fix is to just temporarily disable Liberty Tweaks by moving its DLL file outside of the scripts folder inside of the ivsdk.net folder, and then restoring it once you're done with the mission. I should note that both the pack and the guide are compatible with Linux and Steam OS users as well.
I gotta say, even though the best way of disabling a mod is of course to put it out of your directory, with ivsdk.net you could also pause an individual mod or script. That might work. Yeah, I'm not sure. It depends on the mod really.
Including Steam Deck and other Linux-based handhelds. And if you ever need to find something within the guide, there's a built-in search feature right at the top of it. You can now enjoy a true definitive experience of GTA 4 with this mod pack. It's a great time to play with this pack, especially considering that GTA 6 is just around the corner.
Yeah, I try to add a lot of good to have features to it. Maybe a little too many. Yeah, but I think pause is a pretty good way to temporarily disable a mod. But as I said, it really depends on how the mod is structured.
I'd like to give a huge shout out to Gillian for not only helping me make this video, but also for putting together such an incredible mod pack and a modding guide that's super helpful for everybody. A huge thank you also goes to the talented creators behind the individual mods featured in this pack. Without them, we wouldn't have a mod pack
Yeah,
like
I actually
this in the
love
first
this
place,
part.
and we certainly wouldn't be able to experience GTA
This was
4
nice.
as definitively as we can today. If you enjoyed this video, leaving a like and subscribing helps me out tremendously. I do a lot of GTA 4 videos on this channel. That said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.
See you next time. And that was the video. We of course gonna watch the credits because all those people listed here did a great job. Made the game much better. Oh, nice. Oh, this was cool. That's a nice way of doing it. Creative. I also can't believe that GTA 4 got pretty good in a short amount of time, I would say. I don't know when. I don't know when I said this, and Cats Mercury said this also. Like in 2022, we said like, yeah, 2023 will be the year of GTA 4. And I think it actually 2023 and above is actually the year of GTA 4, with like how good Fusion Fix and such became, all those pretty awesome mods that released. And also crazy to think about how Fusion Fix was before a certain point. Like, it was a very basic mod that you basically didn't even need to install because it was so basic. But then it got so big in such a short amount of time that it's now an important must-have mod. Really props to everyone who worked on Fusion Fix. That I bet it was a lot of work. Especially with like how encrypted the complete edition has become. Yeah, honestly, yeah, it might be 2020 when it slowly started and then it ramped up crazy. Alright. Oh, Better Call Saul. Also a nice series to watch. Recommended. Okay. I think this was it. Heck yeah. And El Camino, the movie. Back to the Pringles. And back to the ending screen in a minute. Because this is the end of the stream. Yeah, I gotta sleep. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. And definitely like the video and subscribe to Not AJ. This was an awesome video. That was fine. I did enjoy it. Alright, yeah, no problem, Not AJ. I mean, it was a nice video. What else should I say? It deserves the credits. Alright, yeah. I'm gonna say goodbye. And I'll see you in the next stream. Thanks for watching. Let me turn on the music again. And then we switch to the end screen. Perfect. Bye bye. See ya.